What is up, guys? Jeff Caldwell here, and now we are going to be setting up Clickmagick. And if you guys don't know about Clickmagick, Clickmagick is what you're going to actually be using to track your solo ads, and not only just your solo ads, but pretty much any paid traffic. Because if you're not tracking how much you're actually spending, and if you're making money from that traffic source, you really don't know if you have a business or not. So this is kind of where internet marketing all comes down to numbers. And so if you get good at anything, you really need to get good at knowing where your money is, because this is your money, right? You're trying to make, we're in this to actually make a profit. So you must focus on what is actually producing you revenue streams. And even solo ads are fantastic. I absolutely love solo ads for any of my traffic sources. However, some people, they could send you some clicks and it looks like it's good. However, you could obviously tell it's been bad clicks, but you can only tell if you're actually tracking it through Clickmagick, right? And so this is a very, very must-have tool. And so I'm going to show you guys how to set it up for the very first time if you're a brand new user. This is somebody that I'm help setting up for a friend. And so here we go. So one of the very first things you want to do is you want to with Clickmagick, they give you like this kind of like generic domain. So you want to go and get your domain set up to where it's actually your personal domain. All right, and so here it is you have your instructions. You go and click this Start Here button, and this is going to be telling you guys the instructions on how to get set up. And so what you're going to do is you're going to be buying a domain, and this is going to be a tracking domain where it's your own custom domain. And when you guys go to, let's just say like Namecheap, right? So let's go here. When you guys buy your domains, you guys don't have to buy a high-end, like it doesn't have to be a fancy domain. You're mainly looking for something that is going to be easy to remember. This could also be used if you guys are out and about, and you guys, this could be used to shorten your links. Kind of think of like a bit.ly. However, you're going to be able to do this with your own domain. So that's a kind of a benefit. You don't have to remember your affiliate links. So you want it something that you're going to remember. So I always kind of like it to be, something small, like I have, tiny link, and then you could do some searches. And this is the type of place where it doesn't matter if you have the actual .coms, and I highly recommend you just don't use the .coms, because most of the time this is just going to be strictly behind the scenes with you, and so maybe this might not be a good one because tiny link is still a long domain. So let's see if we could get like a small domain. Let's just see like AA. Let's see what we could get with AA. All right, so let's go. Let's go track. What are the options? All right, so here's some options. Look, so we have like track live. That's $1.80 for a year. That's pretty good. So just something like that. You guys, look, Track TV or something, track.ca. These are type of good ones that I highly recommend because it doesn't cost much. You can even find some 99 cents. Like this is $1.80 for a year, and so there's one, Track ICU, right? So that is 98 cents a year, right? So it doesn't have to be costly. All right, and so once you actually get it, I'm going to use one of my domains. I already purchased this domain. You're going to go, for me, I use Namecheap. You guys could absolutely 100% use any GoDaddy, any of those, but I use Namecheap. They're cheap and they're good. And so here you go. You're going to actually find what company you are a part of, and you are actually going to go in and get set up with them. And so I am just going to get set up with Namecheap. Just right here. So if you guys are using any other like company, just follow along in theirs. I'm just going to show you guys how to get it set up in Namecheap. All right, so we go to our advanced DNS right over here, which is also what this guide is going to be telling you. Okay, so it's going to tell you right here, go to the advanced DNS. Right, these name servers, we leave that. We're just not going to touch those. Right, and what we're looking at is when you guys add these, you guys could kind of see right here this www. This is kind of like, think of it as, you guys see how this is the www right here? You guys don't necessarily have to have the www. You could have, so I'm going to add a new record, and I'm going to add a C record. And my host, when it talks about your host, this is actually the host. This is actually the domain right here. So for me, I'm going to put MAG, right? And so this is just something that I know, right? It could be anything that you guys know. All right, and when you guys are doing solo ads and you're actually buying solo ads, you want to make sure that you are, there's going to be, let's see right here, there's a certain type of domain that you want to make sure you're pointing at when you're buying solo ads compared to when you are selling solo ads. So we're going to go down here. I guess it helps if we just read the instructions. Alright, so, okay, so, what we're looking at is right here. Use the Clickmagick.com for tracking links and split tests, or Clickmagick MR for rotators. Alright, so we're going to be using the actual tracking links. So this is where we're actually going to want to point it, right? So when you guys can see, this is what it's going to look like. However, we know we could enter in anything that we want beforehand. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything else, right? And so we're just going to drop this down to 30 minutes, hit OK. And now that created basically a subdomain for our main domain. All right, so what this looks like is I now added it. So if I was to go to mar.trackit.xyz, which is my domain, this is what I'm going to be pointing over to here. All right, so the next part is we save the entry, and now we are going to go back into Clickmagick, and it's going to say what is our domain, right? And so we are going to go in here, and this is our domain. And this is what our host was, right? So this was our pre-domain. Some people could use www. Some people could use, you know, like anything that you want, but just know that you could do a CNAME record, and the host is going to be that pre-hand. So this is where I kind of entered in right here, right? And so now we're going to enter in the domain. All right, and setting up using a CNAME or a DNS name. If you use an A record, that's perfectly fine. That's just having it where it doesn't go to the basically, like in here it's a setting where it just goes straight to this domain. However, I use the CNAMEs. And so you're going to use the tracking link. You want to cloak with this domain. Go ahead and hit yes. And then you're going to add custom domain. And so there's going to be two things that show up. One, oh yay, we just got it where it's 100% goes right through and we are good to go. Sometimes you'll get a message that pops up saying it might take a little while because it hasn't fully converted and moved over. However, if you're at this point, you are good to go. And so the next part is actually going to be setting up your tracking. And so I'm going to be showing you guys in that. And so stay tuned.